Welcome to the NBOS podcast, where we share actionable insights on web design, SEO, paid advertising, and AI automation. Each episode is focused on practical strategies you can apply immediately to build smarter systems, attract better traffic, and scale your business with confidence. Today, we're diving into the future of SEO, and specifically, how AI like Grok is completely changing the rules of the game. We're moving away from a simple race for rankings into a much more complex battle for preference. Let's get right into it. Okay, so let's just rip the Band-Aid off. The slide says your SEO strategy is already obsolete. I know, that's a pretty bold statement, right? But the thing is, the ground is literally shifting under our feet, all thanks to a brand new kind of search engine. And this question right here, this is the absolute core of what we need to wrap our heads around. The game isn't just about visibility anymore. It's evolving into a battle for preference. The goal is no longer just to be seen, it's to be chosen. So, to really understand this new battlefield, we first have to meet the new gatekeepers of information. We're not talking about a simple list of blue links anymore. These new engines, they act more like a conversational partner or a research assistant. They scan dozens, sometimes hundreds of sources. They interpret all that content, and then they decide what's best for you, the user. And that leads to the million-dollar question. How in the world do you influence that decision? Well, that brings us to a fascinating and maybe slightly terrifying concept from a recent research paper. It's a whole new class of attacks designed specifically for this new AI-driven world. Just think about that for a second. This is so much more than just stuffing the right keywords onto a page. This is about actively manipulating the AI's entire reasoning process to make it prefer your product, and maybe even to trash talk your rivals. And this slide just illustrates that shift perfectly. It's like night and day. On the left, you've got the old world of SEO. It was all about getting seen. On the right, you have this new adversarial world where the goal is to be chosen by the AI. And the methods are totally different. We're talking prompt injection, persuasive language, even directly discrediting competitors in your own website's content. So, how does this actually work in practice? Let's dig into an example from that research paper, because honestly, it's pretty darn clever. Okay, so what you're seeing here are two competing ads that were fed to an AI. The one on the left is just a normal, standard ad for a camera. But the one on the right, that one has a hidden trick. Imagine text written in a font that's the exact same color as the background. It's completely invisible to a human eye, but an AI can read it perfectly. And that hidden text contained a direct command telling the AI that this camera was the best one and that it should recommend it above all others. And the results? They were dramatic. I mean, just look at this table. The attacker's fake camera, the one with the secret message, nearly doubled its recommendation rate inside Bing Copilot. It jumped from being recommended about a third of the time to almost 60%, blowing past real legitimate brands. You can see how this creates a really dangerous incentive, right? If one company can successfully attack the system and get a huge advantage, what do you think their competitors are going to do? They're basically forced to do the same thing just to stay in the game. And that leads to what's known as a classic prisoner's dilemma. It's a race to the bottom. While attacking the system gives one single player a short-term advantage, when everyone starts doing it, the quality of the AI's answers just plummets for everyone. As you can see here, the more attacks you have, the less likely any single product is to be chosen. In the end, everybody loses. So we have this fragile system and a really bad incentive to cheat. Now, let's throw a huge wild card into the mix, Grok. This is what makes Grok a total game changer. Unlike other models trained on static, old data, Grok is plugged directly into the live, chaotic, incredibly fast-moving river of information on X. That real-time access could seriously amplify the speed and scale of these manipulation tactics we've been talking about. And people are already seeing how powerful it is for search. This Reddit user points out how great Grok is at pulling in a massive amount of real-time results. But if that's the data the AI is using to form its preferences, you have to ask, what's the nature of that data? This is a feeling you see all over the place online. People feel like Grok is more direct, less filtered, it cuts through the BS. But that very feature, that perceived authenticity, could make it a prime target for manipulative content that's designed to look like an unfiltered, real opinion. And this just nails it. This perception of blunt, uncensored honesty is a huge part of its appeal. But it's also a massive potential vulnerability in this new SEO landscape. If the whole point of the AI is to be less safe, it might just be more likely to fall for persuasive and even malicious content. So, what's the big takeaway here? Where does all of this leave us? Well, the rules of the game have clearly fundamentally changed, and we need to start thinking about the potential defenses. Now, researchers are definitely working on solutions. Things like forcing the AI to show its work through attribution, or automatically detecting obvious attacks, or teaching it to prioritize its own system rules over user suggestions. But, and this is a big but, the research paper is clear. For now, these defenses are only partially effective. And that leaves us all with a pretty critical question about the future of information itself. As AI becomes the primary gatekeeper to what we read, what we buy, and what we believe, this battle for its preference is only going to get more intense. And it's going to force all of us to completely rethink what it even means to search for the truth.